Some stories in American history feel more like legends than actual events, right? They're so bizarre that even historians can't quite agree on what really went down. This is definitely one of those tales. For centuries, gold has stood for power, stability, and security. It's wild to think about how nations have gone to war over it, how empires have risen and fallen because of it. In the United States, gold was once the backbone of the entire economy, a shiny symbol of wealth and prosperity. But here's where it gets really intriguing. At various points in American history, massive amounts of gold didn't just get stolen, they vanished without a trace. No witnesses, no wreckage, no clear answers. And honestly, that's what makes this story so unsettling and captivating at the same time. To really grasp how gold could just disappear, let's rewind to a time when America was still expanding westward. The country was growing like crazy, and with that growth came an insatiable hunger for wealth. Gold was being mined in remote areas, transported across treacherous terrain, and stored in vaults that were often poorly protected. Can you imagine the chaos? Back in the 1800s, moving gold was incredibly risky. There were no satellites, no GPS, no fancy tracking systems. Shipments traveled by horse-drawn wagons, trains, and ships, which was super risky. Once gold left a mine or a vault, it entered a world full of uncertainty and danger. One of the most common ways gold went missing was during transportation. Shipments would leave one location and just never show up at the next. Sometimes you'd hear whispers about storms or accidents. Other times, it was just silence. No wreck found, no bodies recovered, and definitely no gold ever returned. Over time, these disappearances fueled all sorts of wild rumors. Some folks believed the gold was lost at sea, resting at the bottom of rivers or oceans, while others thought it was buried somewhere, hidden away, waiting for someone to stumble upon it generations later. But there's a darker theory that sends chills down your spine. As the United States grew more powerful, gold became a matter of national security. Forts were built, records were classified, and information was tightly controlled. When something went missing, it wasn't always made public. There were cases where official documents mentioned gold shipments that were never fully accounted for. The numbers didn't always add up, and when people started asking questions, the answers were vague or just never came at all. This raised a pretty chilling possibility. What if some gold didn't disappear by accident? What if it was intentionally hidden, moved, or erased from the records? During times of economic panic, governments feared one thing above all else: a loss of confidence. If people believed the gold was gone, they might panic. Banks could collapse, entire systems could fail. So sometimes keeping quiet was safer than telling the truth. Then there are those legends that just won't die. Stories of buried gold in deserts, mountains, and forgotten frontier towns. These tales are passed down through families, scribbled in journals, and whispered in conversations. Some treasure hunters have dedicated their entire lives to chasing these rumors, convinced that massive fortunes are still out there, untouched and waiting to be found. Every year, people still search for these hidden treasures. They bring metal detectors, old maps, and faded letters, hoping to uncover something that will bring the mystery back to life. And occasionally, something small is found just enough to keep the intrigue alive. But the biggest disappearances, they remain unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers. What makes this story so powerful isn't just about the gold itself. It's what it represents: trust, stability, and control. When gold disappears, it shakes our belief that everything is accounted for, that history is complete. It's a stark reminder that even in a nation built on records, laws, and institutions, things can slip through the cracks. Entire fortunes can vanish, and sometimes the truth goes missing right along with them. Today, historians are still debating these missing gold stories. Some believe the answers are lost forever, while others think the gold is still out there, waiting not to be spent, but to be discovered. Because history doesn't always leave clear footprints. Sometimes it leaves behind a trail of questions. And maybe that's why stories like this still captivate us. It's not just about the gold itself. It's about the mystery it leaves behind. It's about the thrill of the chase, the idea that something incredible could still be out there, just waiting for the right person to uncover it. So, what do you think? Are you ready to dive into the mystery of America's missing gold? Thanks for tuning in.